Let's start with this from the Post-Millennial. U.S. Army expected to miss recruitment goal again in 2023. Oh boy, I sure hope we don't actually enter World War III with Russia, considering we're not hitting our recruitment goals. I got it. Maybe there's something we can do to drum up support among young people and inspire them to be the heroes of tomorrow, to stop the madman that is Vladimir Putin. Perhaps, I don't know, drag queens. From Fox News, U.S. Navy platformed drag queen influencer to attract youth to military and hiring crisis. Oh, Jesus.
You're supposed to inspire young, overly testosterone-filled dudes to go want to blow stuff up, to join the military, not
Tom Cruise
their
just
gender.
gave you the second Top Gun, and this is how you follow up?
Yeah, seriously. Top Gun, one of the best recruitment videos ever. The hero's journey. And I see this story, and you know what my response is to it? I don't care if you want to be a drag queen, by all means, go ahead and do your thing, but it's a hobby. That's not something you sign up for military service to do.
Yeah, it'd be like talking about how many girls you ran through or something, and be like, "Oh yeah, I slept with 15 women last year. Join the army." And you'd be like me. Like that doesn't get. Maybe that would get guys to join.
That probably would. It'd be like, really, women, dig guys in uniform, huh? This is like you're not getting laid. You're going to a show to watch a man dressed like a woman sing songs. I don't think that's a reason to join the Navy.
Just, I see the photograph and all I can say is how far we've come from when Bob Hope used to bring Raquel Welch over to Vietnam to entertain the troops, and she seemed, I'm just going to say, I've seen photos and some films of that. It seems like she was well received on those occasions. Why wouldn't they just stick with that formula? You
know what I said when I saw this story? Everyone's complaining about it. And I was like, isn't the Navy notoriously stereotyped for being gay? Like
the whole village people
thing.
Navy.
Yeah, in the Navy. And then I'm just like, this is not at all surprising to me. But
they're like, we'll just play to it. It'll be fine.
But in all seriousness, when we're seeing recruitment shortages, it is kind of alarming that they're like, I know what's going to make young men want to sacrifice their lives for the United States. Drag queens.
Less than 1% of the population.
I think they're just trying to give drag queens work. They're trying to say, like, we have this surplus of drag queens and they can do anything. They can recruit for the military and they can read to your kids. They can do it all. You should be excited to have a drag queen in your neighborhood.
What they got to be doing is indoctrinate kids via video games. They got to give really awesome VR or free video games, free download, make it addictive and awesome, and then be like, join the military now.
They had these video games.
Yeah, America's Army was
But now
one of them.
imagine you get Call of Duty 6 or whatever number they're on, and it's like the story starts and the guy's like, I was on the ship when Harpy Daniels did a performance, and then you're watching a drag queen and you're like, I don't feel inspired to die. Like, I don't to go to war to save my country. You know what the male power fantasy is more like? If they had a guy just like Spider-Man, it'd probably be a lot better. Literally have a guy just like Spider-Man and do a backflip would be better recruitment than a drag queen.
This brings to mind the statement of Mike Huckabee when he was one of the candidates against Donald Trump in 2016, and they still were having large debates with the whole field of candidates. And Huckabee said on that occasion something fairly close to this: the United States military is not a laboratory for social experimentation. Okay, it has one mission, which is to preserve and defend the national security and territorial sovereignty of the United States. And I think I would wait a long time if I waited for somebody in the Pentagon to explain to me how that photo comports with that mission.
There needs to be congressional hearings and dishonorable discharges or stripping of rank or something for the people who are responsible for this. You've already got the meme of the Russian. Have you seen the Russian military ad?
Yes.
Where it's like this dude's all ripped and he jumps out of a plane and then lands, in the snow, and he puts the mask on. He's got the gun, and it's like, you are going to be a hero in Russia. Then you get the American ads, and it's like, I have 2 moms and I'm a drag queen, and it's like, man, look, they may not have the resources. They may be having a hard time with they're using old tanks now and they're recycling old weapons. But we're having a personnel problem.
Yeah, we literally cannot get enough people to go to boot camp, not just because of ads like this and an apathy, but also because people don't qualify. There are more people turned away because they are overweight or they struggle with a mental health disorder, they have a drug use problem, that do not qualify for the military. I mean, the DoD put out this report saying basically it's like, I want to say 200,000 people every year that qualify to join the military. And of those, around less than 10% actually have an interest in joining. I mean, it is a minuscule population who I really think we should just talk to and say, hey, did this commercial with a drag queen seem appealing to you? Like, where is the basic marketing study where they gather a bunch of people who successfully did the thing they wanted and say, would these appeal to you if you had to do it again? Because I don't think this would work.
It's so profoundly offensive. And it's not so much the drag queen thing, because I'm like, I don't care if people want to do that and have, gay men's burlesque. It's America, man. You go live your life, do what you want to do. What's offensive is that they're advertising the Navy is a silly nonsense place to be of irresponsibility. Mm-hmm. It's like if they made a commercial and they were like, join the Navy so that you can hang out with your buddies and drink beer and watch the game, I'd be like, that's also bad.
It's not for
Granted,
fun.
This is worse, but
I mean, honestly, you want to dress in drag, fine, but not while you're in the service. You're in uniform there. Maybe on your private time, but not while you're on duty.
That's the other thing. There's photos of this dude protesting, and I'm like, is he allowed to do that as a Navy serviceman? Protest holding up a sign for abortion?
Look, I think we all agree that this is not the answer to the recruitment problem, right? And so, there at a threshold level, we condemn those who thought that this somehow would be the answer to that problem. But if you really want to look at the actual root of the problem itself, it gets to what you said earlier, I think, which is you were talking about what's going to motivate a young person to join the military, which is an all-volunteer institution, to potentially give up their lives, right? Give up their lives for what?
Batman.
For something much larger than themselves, right? It has to be something larger than themselves. And as we are, as a society, tearing down everything that the United States has always historically meant, okay, you're going to see fewer people want to lay down their lives for what remains of that definition of a country.
Who wants to lay down their lives for this?
Well, it's this identity thing. The military is not about establishing personal identity. It's about giving up your personal identity for the group.
Well, and I will say, the Surgeon General just came out with this report saying we have the next public health crisis is loneliness and social isolation. Do you know what branches of the military are successfully reaching their quotas? It's the Marine Corps, it's NASA, it's things that people feel like they are part of something bigger. We can identify our problem and yet we don't apply it to the institution that apparently needs it most, the military recruitment. The Air Force struggles, all reservists struggle, the Army struggles, the Navy struggles, but yet something that has a really strong core identity, the Marines and again Space Force, they are doing okay. They're not doing great, but they are making their quotas.
Trump needs to get reelected and fire all of these people. Just strip them and boot them out. You want to know what you need to make? You want a commercial right now? You need some real propaganda. Here's what you do. You make a video of a guy in Ukraine and a Russian soldier is, firing on some soldiers. And then the guy grabs a child and runs from an explosion and then gives the child to the mother who's crying and thanks him. And he's like, go, go, go. And then the guy turns around and runs into battle in slow motion. And it's like, be the hero, join the army.
Yeah, but it's got to be like an invasion of Alaska and it be like, don't let it happen here.
So anything better than a guy dressing up like a woman and dancing like that. No young man is being like, wow, that's why I want to go to a battlefield and die.
Elephant in the room, man. When they discharged all these people out of the military during this COVID crisis, and it was like the most based, hardcore dudes that were like, I'm not putting that. You cannot make me. I'm here to serve my country. Leave me alone. Let me do my job. And now they were just kicked out. Now they're just men and women. And now they're all pissed off the United States. Like they're going to come back.
I think this is us losing the war, right? Sun Tzu says, win the war before you start it, before fighting it. So right now we have recruitment problems, and the best they can come up with this. China's like looking at, Xi Jinping's looking at his watch like, don't invade Taiwan yet. Let's let them fester for a little bit. Oh, they're doing the drag queen thing? Okay, now we're good.
Yeah, once we miss military recruitment goals for the 5th year in a row, then we'll move in. I mean, I feel like this is so obvious and it's happening very publicly. America is such a culture, exports its culture at such a high level that there's no way that this is not part of anyone's calculation, thinking, wow, they don't have a healthy population. Their young people are have higher rates of depression than anyone else. They are not looking to join the military. They are feeling isolated. They are a weak country. And therefore, we know that ultimately, if we can hold on long enough, we can tip the scales in our favor. Like, that's a very terrifying thought.
Weakness is provocative.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.